Hello everyone, welcome to this course. I'm Kiran Pandey, the course director. And so this is the first live session, and let me tell you what you're going to cover in this live session. As you know, this program is about using QGIS to extract special data, to analyze it, process it, and to tell a story through the map. Okay? So on the first day, since we have any beginners in this course, what we will do is we will first introduce you to what is GIS, how QGIS helps you to understand the special data, and we'll also cover the installation of QGIS, because many of you have asked me that I'm not an expert, so how will I deal with this? So don't worry, we'll talk about from the beginning itself. So if you're a beginner, be assured that you will end up by learning this. If you are an experienced person, please be patient, because we do have beginners in this program and we want to justify their, we want to really share this knowledge with them as well. So, but you're most welcome to share your comments with us. And so by the end of this today's session, what we expect you to learn is the basic concept of GIS, learn a bit about QGIS as a tool, and thirdly, you should be very confident to download it and use it to extract special data and also process it. So that will be your key learning outcome by the end of the day. If you have problems, please feel free to post your message on chat, or you can also raise your hand through this. And there's one more humble request, that please be on mute so that nobody is disturbed in the class. But if you have questions, please do raise your hand. Don't hesitate. Because since you're going to spend another 1.5 hours with us, so let's justify the time that you're spending over here with us. Okay. Over here, so I have with me Pulaha Roy. He is a senior data journalist with Down to Earth magazine. This magazine is published by us. It's almost 30 years old magazine that we've been publishing. And Pulaha is a senior data journalist with us. So if you're seeing the maps in a magazine, and they're mostly by Pulaha. Okay. For most of you who don't know this magazine, let me give a brief intro to the magazine. This magazine is published by Center for Science and Environment. This is a global think tank on environment, focused mostly on global south issues. And we were established in 1982. And the magazine was first published in 1992. So that's what we're talking about. Okay. So what we expect you to go from here. So we are not, we won't say we are experts, but we are practitioners. So the aim of this program is you should be able to learn from the mistake that we have made. Okay. I think that will also be interesting part to it. Okay. And over here, Pulaha, so he will take the session for the next 1.5 hours.
Hello.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming to our CSE's session on GIS. So let's start with, first I'll share my screen with you. Yeah, sorry. There's some issues with sharing my screen. So let me just. Yeah. Hopefully everyone can see my screen now. Uh, so yeah, so there's an introduction to QGIS. And so what is GIS? And according to USGS, it's Geographic Information System. That's the full name of GIS that we use. Is a computer system that analyzes and displays geographically referenced information. So if you have any data, any set of data which is geographically referenced, as in it has some latitude, longitude details, attributes, that's the kind of data that GIS analyzes. It uses data that is linked to a geographic location. It's pretty straightforward, simple information. And how can we use GIS in real life troubleshooting? So this is actually the oldest example of us humans using GIS to troubleshoot daily problems. This map goes back to 1832. This map was done by a physician, a doctor called Dr. Thomas Shapter. And this is a map of cholera breakout in this place called Exeter in Devon in UK. So what happened was, what Thomas Shapter did was he tried, and this was the first instance basically, where they tried to map what was happening during the cholera breakout. Now, it would be novice to say that this map itself led to, the reasons behind cholera. That would be a little, we'll be stretching that. But this was the first proper way, first way where we started mapping diseases. Okay, and why I wanted to show you this example is because in this training session itself, so we have academicians, we have people from journalism. I'm a journalist myself. So we have like people from different hierarchies, like, a lot of different work set. But the thing with GIS is you can always use it. It does not matter what you're trying to do. You can be a health professional and you can use GIS to troubleshoot problems. You can be a journalist and you can use GIS to tell stories. I do that for my living. So that's what I'm trying to convey here. So this is the oldest example of how we have been using GIS to troubleshoot problems, practical problems. And how do we use this GIS technology? And that is through QGIS. That's the symbol of QGIS. We will look into how we work on QGIS, but and what could be done using QGIS. If you want some tangible outcome out of it. So this is a analysis that I did long time back, and this is an analysis on how, like, when the world would be warming at 1.5 degree, what would be the condition of Indian states? So like if the world is warming at 1.5 degree, what temperature would the Indian states be warming at, compared to the long term average of 1850 to 1900? And this analysis showed us that the western part of, as you can see in the map as well, the western part of India would be warming at a much more rapid rate compared to the eastern part. Apart from of course, the Himalayan states would be warming at the highest rate. Apart from that, there's also the western part, if you can see in the map. So these are the kind of things that you can do, and this was purely done through QGIS, analyzing data, processing data in QGIS, quantifying data in QGIS, and then making a map out of it. Then there's this other one. Yeah, this is the map of Aravalli. As you know, if you're from India, Aravalli right now is a burning issue in India, and this was a story that we did for the Down to Earth magazine, where we tried to map, so like which areas in Aravalli would be exposed to future mining operations. Okay, so there's some more. So this is about like how the world will look into the future. I'm not getting into the details of what the story was, but these are the kind of stuff that you can do via QGIS. And this is the last one. This is a place called Joshimath in Uttarakhand, and this place is sinking. So we tried to map where all sinking is happening in this area, and what are we trying to achieve today? So you guys have come for this workshop. So we wanted to talk about like what are we trying to achieve in this class. So in a nutshell, like from this, something like this, and we'll see what it is. We'll see what it is, what map it, what data. We'll see a lot of circles and all, but what data it is and all. To something like this. This is the kind of stuff you can do on QGIS. So so let us get started with the download part, and I'll share the link with you here.
Shall we do this downloading simultaneously at our end also?
Yeah. Please go ahead. If you're comfortable doing it, then please go ahead. I'm just trying to share the the chat. Yeah, thank you. So you can go to this link that I've shared in the chat box. You can go to this link and click on that link. It'll come to this page, and I want to talk to you about the interface. If anyone is having any issues with that, what I want to show you is, so you see, if you're, it depends like what system you're on. I'm using Mac, so if you're a Windows user, I want to show first for the Windows users. So this is Windows desktop. You can change it here depending on your system. So if you're a Windows user, you click on Windows desktop, and then you go for the long-term release 3.40. Okay, just go for the long-term release 3.40. And if you're a Mac user, which I am, so I'll go for the I'll go for the regular version for Mac OS. That's it. That's all I have to do. Either you can click here, either you can click here, or you can click here. Either way. So it'll take some time for you guys to download as well, but that's fine. We just wanted to walk you through the installation part because a lot of people have problem with that.
Excuse me, we should download LTR 3.40, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He already has it, but the version is 3.4.
That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, it's fine. Is anyone having any issues with?
The version is 3.44. Is that okay? Yeah.
Let me see. Yes, Ravindra, please go on. Ravindra has a
So,
question.
should I download this long-term release 3.40?
Yeah. 3.40.
Thank you.
If anyone has a different version, that's also fine with me. It works, so not an issue. Raghavendra has a question. So to answer your question, so yeah, it's going to take some time. So my is like right now it's showing 585 MB. That's the setup file size for me. But it's fine. Like let it take some time, and we are recording this session, so it's absolutely fine. Maybe the Windows one might be a little bigger. I don't know. I have to see it myself because I'm using a Mac system.
It's almost 1.3 GB.
Yeah, I saw that. Saw your message. Yeah. Is there anyone else having any issues with installation? Okay, that's fine. Yeah, 35 seconds. So now that I have finished, do we need to download online stuff or Windows? Don't think so, Raghavendra. You just go for the, so if you see in the download part, just go, I think in the Windows, you just download the LTR, that's it. No 3.42 with Qt6. I don't think you need that. Just a simple download would do. So I had saved my file. So just click on like where you have saved your setup file. I'll just click on that. Yeah. And then I'll just click on that. And if you're a Mac user, there might be a high chance that you have to give permission to Mac for them to, allow QGIS to make changes to your system, which I'm going to do now. QGIS is an arrow from there. Are you sure you want to open it? I'm going to say open. And thankfully, this one doesn't need any permission from my end. And if you see, like now I have it open on my system. This is how my QGIS interface is looking right now. I'm going to wait a couple of more minutes for you guys to just download and start it on your system. If anyone is having any issues with starting QGIS, we are here to answer all your queries. So please feel free to let us know. I see a lot of so if it's taking a lot of time to download, then probably there's some internet issue with it. It's fine. This session is being recorded, so you can always go back and have a look at it. If you still have any issues, we are always there to answer your questions. Just shoot us a mail. Download it, but I can't open. Ma'am, if you have downloaded, then you have to go to where the setup file is. And you have to click on that. And then like it depends. It also depends like if you're a Windows or a Mac user. Uh, could you please share a screenshot of what you have downloaded, Kanu? If anyone is having any issues with the opening, they can also share the screenshot of why, like what the screen is looking like. Yeah, so I see a screenshot here. Yeah, so Mansi, that would be an internet problem. Maybe the internet is slow or the servers are down. Maybe because a lot of people are downloading at the same time, so might be the servers might be down. Uh, but it's fine. This session is again recorded, so we'll go ahead with it. If you have any issues, just let us know. But so I don't think it's what you're downloading, but let me just go ahead with the class. So this is what the QGIS interface looks like. Is anyone else having a different interface of QGIS once they have opened it on the system? Okay, so I'll walk you through what all we are looking at. This is more or less the opening screen when you open QGIS. This, as you can see, is the browser panel. What the browser panel does is, this is where you have all your files stored and everything on your system. And this browser panel allows you to fetch the data, basically. So like if I have something in downloads, I'll go to downloads, and from there, I'm going to fetch it. I'll show you also how to fetch data, but let me just walk you through what the interface, what all you need and what it means. Then there's the layers panel. The layers panel is where you fetch the data. Like I have the data stored somewhere, which I'm going to access through the browser. And from the browser, I'm going to fetch the data here. We don't have data right now. We don't have any data right now, but we'll see like from where all we can also source data. The other one that I want you to want you to show is that's a very useful toolbar that we often use in QGIS. That one is if you go to view and you go to toolbars, you have the manage layers toolbar. Okay, I'll show you once more. Go to view, you have the toolbars. Yeah, you have the toolbars, come to toolbars, and then you have to check on manage layers toolbar. Just click on that and see this thing opens up. So here also you have different options. I'll walk you through some of them, but let us first get the data. Okay, so and we need some data. Like right now the screen is blank and everything, and a very good place to start for data is I'll share the link with you in the chat. It's called Natural Earth. And I'll share the link. I've shared it in the chat. It's Natural Earth data, and Natural Earth data is it's a repository that we often use. Okay, and it's hosted by the data. The data is hosted by I think the American Society of Cartography, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. And what I want you to do is I want you to come to downloads. Okay. And so here's the large scale data. And what? Can you please share the link? Yeah. And so here you have in the download section, you come to cultural, and here you have admin. Okay. So we are going to download countries data. Okay. You need some political boundaries, and Natural Earth is a very good place to start. They have a lot of different kinds of data sets that you can also explore in your free time. What we need from here is the download countries. And there's also another section called the download country admin zero countries point of views. And this comes very handy because if you're from India, you know you have the problem with the Kashmir map, and this gives you the world from the Indian perspective. So I'll go ahead and download for countries from an Indian perspective. Download countries India POV. You can download whichever point of from whichever perspective you want to see. It can be US, it can be any country for that matter. But it's the same, it's the world map, so nothing's going to change. And I've downloaded that. And what I'll do is I'll just unzip it, and now we have some data. So what we'll do now is I've saved it in downloads in the browsers. You come to browsers, you have home, and it's saved in downloads, and I think it's any admin zero countries. I think that was the name. Zero countries. Just refresh it. Yeah, you can also refresh. Okay, so then it will show you the more updated versions, like the files that you have just downloaded. If it doesn't show in the first instance, then you can just refresh it here. And now you have, because I've another one downloaded as well. Can we go ahead with anyone? Yes, yes. And once you come here, Indian admin countries, you have this, and all you have to do is just drag and drop here, and see you have a map, a nice looking map here, which is from the perspective of India in terms of like, okay, so you have the whole Kashmir thing in India. There's another way you can, fetch data. Can you see my screen? Can everyone see my screen? Can everyone see my screen now? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for pointing it out. I'll show it. I'll show the whole process once more. Has everyone followed how we downloaded the data?
I started late. My download is still on.
No, I'm talking about the natural Earth data that we just downloaded,
Okay.
like the world boundary, the world
Okay.
countries with political boundaries data.
Yes.
Was everyone able to follow that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, okay. So I'll just show you the step once more of how we fetch the data. Yeah, the link is there. Let me just share the link. You come here. This is where you will get the data. So what we'll do is, so this is the browser panel. My file is saved under downloads. So I'll go there. And this is what we are looking at, anytime countries. And I'll just drag it here in the layers panel, and it'll make a map. Okay, it'll display the map. Another way of fetching data is, let me just, and by the way, if you have to delete any layer, you come to remove layer group. I'll just remove this. Why? Because I'll show you another way of fetching the same data. So, and this is a good point to start. Like, so QGIS has, out of many types of data sets, the two most important ones are the vector and the raster. I'm not getting the raster right away, but what we are dealing with right now is a vector, a vector data set. And what is a vector data set? Data set. So so you see here, this one, the first option, add vector layer. You click there, and you see it's already giving you vector data sets. So you click on this extension thing, the browse button, click on that. And again, I'll go to where I had saved the file. Yeah, this one. And you see there's this thing called anytime, whatever the name of the file is, and there's this extension called .shp. Every time henceforth, when you'll be using GIS and QGIS, every time you come across this extension called .shp, that means it's a vector dataset. And why is it called a vector dataset? I'll show you. But this is one of the formats of vector data. So like a .shapefile would be a vector data. Okay. So let me just open it as the same thing, and it adds, you're able to display the map. And what is a vector data set? A vector data set is, so no matter how much I zoom, it's never going to pixelate. Okay. You can keep stretching it. You can keep stretching it. The zoom level is, you can set it to max, and the quality of the data will remain the same. So that's what a vector data set is. You keep zooming, and you will see the difference when we are talking about what's a raster data set as well. I'm not getting into the details of it, but we'll cover it in another class. But that's two of the most important forms of data set in GIS. Is one is a vector and one is a raster. Right now, we are talking about .shapefile, which is one of the forms of vector data set. So yeah. So this is a shapefile, and right now we have this map. It's not a very good looking map, but anyway, it'll do the work for the time being. Now another type of, so we have this map now, and we need some other data as well, because right now it's good to look at the map. Is good to look at, but it doesn't convey any story as such. And for us to,
Can't see the screen.
yeah. Now you can see my screen, hopefully. Yeah. And so right now we just have the map. Okay. What, but it's not conveying any story because we don't have any information to display. And for that, what we are going to do is, I'll share another link with you. Yeah, I'll just share this link. So if you can just go to the link, and this link will take you to this page called Firms Fire Information for Resource Management System. And what this data is basically, it's about fire activities across the world, or forest fires. If you can, it can be forest. Actually, it can be forest fire. It can be stubble fire. But NASA normally tracks all the fire activities that's happening across the world. So that is what the data set is in a nutshell. And why are we specifically looking into this data set? You can ask, like, will it be of any use? Depends. Again, depends. High chances are that you will never use this data set again. But the point is, why we are using this data set is, again, I want to show you a different kind of vector format, which is this format that we are going to do is, we are not going to do a shape file. We are going to do a text file, a CSV, and hopefully you guys have come across CSV format, right? Hopefully everyone knows what's a CSV format, and let's see how we can load a CSV format in QGIS. So what we'll do is, you browse and you come to text file CSV, and for the world, you have so this is what we are looking for, verse 375 SNPP 48 hours. Okay, and you just click on that, and it downloads a CSV file. And let's see how we can fetch a CSV file here. So we know how we
Excuse me, should we click on the hour, 24 hours?
48 hours, sir.
Okay.
48 hours. 48
Okay,
hours.
thank you.
For the verse 375 SNPP. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So as you can see, so one thing that distinguishes. So let me just get the data first, and then I'll show you. And the way you fetch a CSV is, let's see what happens if we do it the way we did with a shapefile. Let's see what happens if we fetch just the CSV file. And I think the name of this Swamiverse. Swamiverse. Okay. So let's just and see, nothing happens. Okay. So that's because QGIS understands .shp, but QGIS doesn't understand the .csv format right away. We need to tell QGIS specifically that, okay, we are getting a CSV format. Hence the extra steps. Hence this step won't work. This one, just fetching it here. So let me just delete this. And let me come to add delimited layer. That's how you do, you get a .csv format file, display a CSV format file. You come here, add delimited layer, text layer. You click on that. Here's the file name. You click on that again, browse. And you come to the file. I think it's in downloads. So, yeah, this one. Open. And see, it'll automatically detect X field as longitude and Y field as latitude, because that is already there. The information is already there. You see this. And what I want you to do is, if you have DMS coordinates checked, I want to keep it unchecked. Just keep it unchecked. And the geometry CRS, this one, coordinate reference system. The CRS stands for coordinate reference system. What coordinate reference system we are using. I'll get into that. What is a CRS? But just for the time being, you come to EPSG 4326. Okay. Now, if it doesn't show, just let me know. You can share the screen with me, and I'll tell you how you can get this. But just for the time being, let me just show you what we are adding here. So my geometry CRS is EPSG 4326 WGS 84. So let me just add it. And now you see these are these round circles, which indicate like where all fire activities have happened in the last 48 hours. I'll take some questions here. Let me see.
Do we get a recording of this entire
Yes,
session?
yes, yeah.
Okay.
You'll get a
Thank
record.
goodness, thank goodness, yeah.
No issues there. No issues there. So I'll show you the step. I'll show you the CSV step once more. Hopefully everyone has been able to download the CSV file, right? Okay. If anyone is having problem with like where we got the CSV file, I'll just share the link once more.
Excuse me, sir, for the
chat.
curiosity, what is this MODIS 1 km? Is it like
Yeah,
something
just
like-
1 minute. Yeah, let me
Oh.
just share it. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, so someone had a question about like what is this modest collection and this is verse and all. So these are the different kinds of spectrum that a NASA satellite uses. These can be you can call it different lenses, okay, through which they identify. And every every spectrum and every lens has its own advantages and disadvantages. We use this verse 375 SNPP. That's the most common one that we use. I think the most updated one right now is this verse 375. NOAA 21, I think, is the most updated, the latest version of it. But feel free to like I normally use verse 375 SNPP because it's very robust. It's been there for a long time. So yeah, that's like if I can explain it to you, like what is a verse, what is modest. Hopefully that answers your question, sir. So you come here and you download this file like verse 375 SNPP world 48 hours. You just download that, and I'll again show you how do you fetch the data here. Okay, I'll walk you through that step once more. And that one is you come here, and by the way, hopefully everyone has this manage layers toolbar, right? And if you still don't, just come here to view. You come to toolbars, and then you just check on manage layers toolbar. Like I have it unchecked, but let me just show you. Manage layers toolbar. Okay. And once you have this manage layers toolbar, I'm going to go with add delimited text layer. And I'm going to click on this, browse. This is Swami. This is the file name, open. And you keep this unchecked and you keep the geometry CRS as EPSG 4326. If it doesn't, if it doesn't show in the first place, so you have to make sure that it's an EPSG 4326 CRS, and you just add this. Yeah. Hopefully this time everyone was able to follow. If you have any questions, can you please explain about 24, 48, 7? Okay, so the 24H is basically in the last one day. 48H is like how many fire activities happened in the last 48 hours, and 7 day is like a week, sir. Hopefully that answers your question. Lola was
For
able
me,
yeah.
the installing is going on of this QGIS. So it is it is written 3.40.14 Bratislava.
Yeah.
Is it that?
Yeah, it's that, ma'am. It's that.
All right.
Lola, were you
I
able
think
to
for Windows it is taking longer time. Still, it is showing 4 hours for me, but I can try it later with this video after it got downloaded. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir. Just go through this video once. This thing will be recorded, so we'll share it with you after the class. But for the timing, just follow like what we are doing here. I know it's a little frustrating. You also want to get into it, but like there's some technical issue that neither of us can, fix right away. So just follow the class for the timing.
Can you once again explain to how to bring CSV file to GIS platform?
Yeah, please explain how to bring. Yeah, okay. I'll show that once more again. I'll just delete this. So once you have the CSV file downloaded in your system, you come here to manage layers toolbar. If this is where you have it, add delimited text layer. And also, if you don't have this toolbar, another way is I think you can go to just vector. I think you can go to layer, add layer, And here you have add delimited text layer. Okay, in case you don't have the manage layers tool, but I normally use this because it's easier that way. In case you don't have this, then you can just come to layer, and then you can just come to add delimited text layer. So that also works. And here, once I'm here, this dialog box opens as a file name. This is Suomi. Open. Geometry CRS is 4326. Add. I think I had a question here. Someone in geometry definition, I have two options: is project CRS and default CRS. Which one will be selected? So just see what happens if you select project CRS. I think both of them are the same. The project CRS is also your default CRS, which is 4326.
Yeah,
Normally,
both are both
exactly.
are same.
Yeah. So anyone else have any problem with fetching the CSV file? And and also I wanted to show you, like, again, another reason why we selected this data set, the fire activities data set, which again might not be of any use because you might be in some other sector and you have nothing to do with forest fires and climate change and all that. The reason why is, if you see now let me uncheck. And by the way, you can also hide any layer, and for that to do, you have to just uncheck it in the layers panel. So let me just hide the forest fire for the time being. So I'll just click on this, and that hides. And right now, what you have is this map, this country boundaries that we have. And what this map is, it's in the form of a polygon. Okay, this is a polygonal layer. A lot of fancy terms and all that we are using, but basically what it means is, so you see the shape of this file is, it's in a in this polygonal format. Okay, and what is a polygon? A polygon is something which has multiple sides. So that is a polygon, right? But now if I click on this, and by the way, if you have to move in this display, like, all you have to do is, like, through your mouse, you just zoom in, zoom out, and if you have to pan across the display, then you hold the space bar. You hold the space bar, like, see, now it makes a clenched fist, the icon. You hold a space bar, and then you click on the mouse and you can drag like this, so whichever way you want to, and then you can just focus on I want to focus, say, right now I don't see India in my view, so I click on the space bar, that makes a clench fist. Now I can move and can just move to India. I can just focus on India or whichever country for that matter. So yeah, that's another way of doing accessibility. Like, this is how accessibility works in QGIS. But now coming back to our fire activities data. So let me just again. Okay. What are these? Those coordinates? Yes, shall be. Okay. Yeah, I'll just go through what these dots mean. But let me just again bring it on display here. So these dots are, every dot here. So this is what we call, so I call the shapefile, this country thing as a polygonal layer. And this one, this forest fire, is what we call a point data. And what do you mean by a point data? And someone asks, like, what these dots mean. So these dots are basically points on your earth where a fire activity happened. Okay. So every dot that you see it has a latitude and longitude information, and it shows that a fire activity happened there. That's what the dots mean here. That's why I call it a points data set, a points layer. So this dot, every circle that you see right now on your screen is where some kind of fire activity happened. We don't know if it's a forest fire. We don't know if it's a stubble fire. What we do know is that it's a fire activity that's happening in the last 48 hours. And then we can do a deeper analysis and see, like, if it's a forest fire or it's fire from stubble, like that. So if that answers your question, sir, hopefully.
Which means in India there is lot of fire activity. Is
Okay,
it
so now
showing?
let's get into the analysis part. This is the best part about QGIS. Now you can get into the story. Let's dive into the story now. So what do you see in the screen? Will anyone give it a shot? Like, what is the first thing that comes to your mind when you see this? And anyone wants to give it a shot?
There is concentration of fire along equator side largely, and certain
Yeah,
areas of
yeah.
South America.
South America. Yeah. But the best part about QGIS is, and this is all great. Okay, this is all great. The best part about QGIS is that it allows you to quantify things. It allows you to actually give some context. Okay, so from this map, from this data, now I want to know which country has reported the most number of fire activities in the last 48 hours. That's the first piece of information that we like. I would at least like to know, right? And that is what QGIS allows you. It allows you to quantify spatial data. Okay, to give you more context. We know right now from the looks of it, we know that okay, the equatorial region of Africa is reporting a lot of fire activities. The same can be said about India. The same can be said, I think it's the Vietnam and yeah, all these regions. This one, I think, yeah, this is Vietnam, this is Cambodia, Laos. But we want to get into the specifics of it, like how many happened. And for that, okay, for that, what we are going to do now is we want to quantify stuff here. We want to see. And for that to happen, what we'll do right now is we'll go to vector, okay, and we'll go to analysis tools, and you'll see count points in a polygon. I'll show you once more. Come to vector, analysis, and count points in a polygon. And here in the polygon, as you know, your polygon is your shapefile, your country boundaries, and your points data is your fire, the fire activities data, which is verse. So we'll click on them accordingly, and then we're going to click on run. And let's see what happens. It's doing some sort of processing. So let's see. And it creates a file, and it also gives us this this warning in red shouting at us. Feature 188 has an invalid
Same for
geometry.
us.
Yeah, everyone got this error? Right, great. Okay, so now we can go about. So what it's trying to say is there is some invalid geometry. That's why they cannot process. Okay, like very fancy term. Does it matter to know like what this invalid geometry is? I would rather allow you guys to do your own research and tell me like what this error means. But what I will show you is how to go about this error, how to fix this error. And this is a very, very common error with shapefiles that you will see because of some form of editing. There, I mean, that's why you have this, invalid geometries error, and you'll often encounter this. But to fix this problem is first what I'll do is, and it also creates this file called count. I won't go through it right now because it might have some data, but I also want the data for Australia, and I think Egypt is missing. I think Oman is missing. So for the time being, I'll just delete this layer. We don't need it. We don't need half-baked information. So again, back to square one. And what we are talking about right now is, let us fix this problem, this invalid geometry problem that is happening. And in order to fix this problem, what I'll do is, you see processing here, processing, come to processing, click on processing, toolbox, and this thing opens processing toolbox. And the first thing we are going to do is check validity. Just search check validity. Okay, and this option comes, check validity. Click on that. Here's the input layer. And what we are trying to fix here, so every time you have this question, which layer I should use, so you have to question yourself what you're trying to fix. And we're not trying to fix the points layer, which is the forest of which the fire activities. What we are trying to fix here is the shapefile. Okay, so we're trying to fix the shapefile, and we're going to click on run. And it creates three files called error output, invalid output, and valid output. Okay. So now it has created these files, great, but does it help us? No, because we still have to. So what it has done, this step has done, is now it has been able to detect where the problem is. Okay, so you have a file called error output, you have a file called invalid output, and you have a file called valid output. Now we have to again fix it. We have detected the problem. Now we are in the process of fixing it. So in order to fix it again, we have to go for fix geometries. Fix geometries. I'll click on that. And now again in the input layer, I have to again select the shapefile, the original shapefile, okay, which is the any10m admin. That is the original shapefile. So I'll again select that, and all I have to do is just click on run, and then it creates a file called fix geometries. Now, before I go ahead, I'll take questions here. I'm sure a lot of people had issues following it. Anyone with any questions here regarding the steps involved? Was everyone able to follow the steps?
Can you just say how you got the fixed geometries again?
Anyone else? Okay, I'll just show you the fixed geometries part. Hopefully everyone was able to follow, the check validity. Hopefully, right. So I'll show you the fixed geometries, and let me just delete the layer first. And ma'am, to get the fixed geometries to that layer, what you do is, again, in the processing toolbox, you search for fix geometries. Click on that. Then you have the input layer. And this is the any10m admin 0 countries. And then you click on run. Close. And this is the fixed geometries, okay? Let me just uncheck everything. And now if I have to bring this on top, so right now you see we have this layer, fixed geometry, which is the fixed layer. I have another question here. Yeah. Thank you so much, Pranav. Yeah. So you have the fixed geometries, which is on top, but I want to also see this fire activity. So I check on that. But if you see, it's under the fixed geometries layer, right? It's under the fixed geometries layer. In order to bring it on top, all we have to do now here is just move the layers accordingly. Either you bring it down here, the fixed geometries, or say you bring this on top of fixed geometries, sorry, on top of fixed geometries. Yeah. So that's another way you can deal with layers, the layer that you want on top, like that. And before we go ahead further with our analysis, let me just style it a little bit so it's a little more, there's some more clarity. So in order to do some styling, and this is where the core concepts of visualization comes in. There's the analysis part, which we'll again look into, and there's the visualization part. Right now, we are dealing with the visualization, which is mostly the styling and all those things. So let me just fix that. So in order to style it, let me just, okay. So in the forest, we'll do one file at a time. We'll style one file at a time. What we'll do is we'll click on fire activities layer, which is the Suomi verse, right click, and here you have properties, okay? Properties. So click on properties and okay, so there's this information general. This is the information about the file itself. It has a lot of things. Feel free to go through it according in your free time. It gives you, information on your CRS, which is the EPSG 4326 and other all those things. The one that we need here to, do the styling is this one, this paintbrush thing that you see here, control features symbology. This is the symbology. The symbol we normally call it the symbology. That's where the styling happens. Okay. So when you click on symbology, this thing opens up. Okay. And what we'll do is we'll go on this simple marker. We'll click on simple marker. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to decrease the size to maybe 1. Let's see how that looks. And what I'll do is there'll be no fill here, and in order to do that is like the fill color. If you don't want any fill color, if you want to change any fill color, just click on this, just click on the bar itself, and this is the opacity. You can control the opacity. So I don't want any fill color. I'm gonna just slide it down to 0%. And if you want to change the color, you can move this thing here, this line here, and it'll change. I'll maybe, because we are dealing with fire, I'll go with red. That looks good. Okay. And sorry, because I don't want any fill. Sorry, that's my bad. Just whatever the color might be, you don't have to change the color because you don't need the fill. All you have to do is just bring the opacity down to 0%. And I just want to change the stroke color. I don't want any fill color. I just want the stroke color to be red. That's it. Good to go. And I'll keep this 100%. And let's see how it looks. You see? Now it's looking a little better, hopefully, the more you zoom in. And I want the green shade for the country as well. So I'll fix the styling here as well and this is what we'll fix the styling with the on the fixed layer, the layer that we fixed, which is the fixed geometries. You go to properties again, you come to symbology, simple fill, and I don't want a fill color again. I don't want any fill color. All I want, and I want to keep the stroke color as black. It's fine with me. You can change the stroke width. I think 2.6 is good enough. It's in millimeters. You click apply and click OK. Yeah. So now it looks a little better in my view, my opinion. And now let's get into the analysis part. So in order to see what in order to see which country has reported the most number of fire activities in the last 48 hours, we'll go to vector analysis tool, count points in a polygon. And your polygon will be your fixed file now, which is the fixed geometries, and your points is going to be this one, Suomi verse. Okay, the fire activities. And I'm going to click on run. And it does some processing. Feel free to ignore this message if it says no spatial indexes. It's totally fine. You can ignore that for the time being. Yeah, and it creates a file called, and you see, you don't have any warning this time. There's no warning message. So hopefully this one should work, and it gives all of that, and it creates a file called count. Okay, but we need the information. Okay, and it just creates a file which is of no use right now. So what we need right now, we want to see the data. Okay, and one way of seeing the data is through QGIS. It's just you on the count file. On the count file, you click on count, right click, and you come to open attribute table. Open attribute table, and there's a bunch of information. Right now we are looking at Indonesia. It has bunch of information here, and is sovereign and all that. We don't need that. You scroll down, and this has also created a column called num points. Okay, and it says 692. So that's the file, that's the data that we need. So we know in Indonesia, in the last 48 hours, there have been close to 700 fire activities, close to 700 fire activities. So like that, we can also see Malaysia, it's 97, Chile, it's 730. But we want a composite picture. Like we want the data set in a in a composite manner, not like clicking and seeing one country after another. So for that to see, what we can do is again right click on the count file, export, save feature as, and we'll save it as a CSV. Okay, and I'll save it as, you come here, and I'll save it as I don't know, fire activities 48 hours, and I'll save it in downloads, and here you have this. Okay, and I don't want so many columns. I just want the num point. I just want this, and I just want the name of the country. So what I'll do is, let me just deselect all of them. So that deselects all. And here you have name. I'll check on name, and I'll check on num points. Okay, hopefully name is the column that we are looking for. Name is the one where you have the name of the country. Let's see. And I'm going to save that. Okay, and it creates a file. You can't read it from QGIS. You have to open it in Excel. Hopefully you have Excel installed. And yeah, let me just open the file now in Excel. Oh, it's opening in numbers. Let me just open it in Excel. It's easier that way. Yeah. So we have this where data in one place where we can see all the countries. And now let's see which one had the highest in the last 48 hours. Descending, sort. So any surprises, ma'am, when you see Nigeria topping the list, and South Sudan, and India is also in top 10. Like we had an idea that it was mostly all, if I, let me just check this. We had an idea that it was Nigeria which was having with the equatorial region, which was reporting the most number of fire activities. But now we can actually get into the specifics of it. We know that Nigeria is the one which had the highest, and then you had South Sudan and all these countries. So yeah, that is the analysis part of it. This is how you can get into micro level detailing. Now we know that India we had over 3,000 and 3,500 fire activities that has happened. We are yet to sort out which ones are stubble, which ones are forest fires, which ones are from industrial complexes. But that is another level of analysis that we have to include. I'll keep it to here on a country level basis, we know. And then you also have these, like Russia, which is like a polar country, also, having significant number of fire activities. You can see
Now,
United
just
States.
to add on to this, so right now Pulaha is actually he has been asked to find out. So in India, if you remember Pulaha, you have been asked to find out the data on forest fires in India as of now. Okay, because there's something unusual about it.
Yeah.
Now Uttarakhand has a
we
problem.
did the story
Yeah.
on
Uttarakhand has a problem.
yeah.
Uttarakhand is a state in India. It's in one of the Himalayan states, and it's burning. And so Pulaha has been asked to get more details on
I
that.
think we have the map for this. Let me just open the map here.
Okay. So that's how. So if you had a simple map, you can't quantify, but Pulaha has been able to use
Yeah, so
QGIS.
this map is some 2-3 days back, I think. This is regarding a state, the state called Uttarakhand, which had been reporting unusual number of forest fires at this. And we know it's a forest fire. Why? Because we have this layer called tree canopy height.
Fantastic, yeah.
So we know it's not from agriculture. Like agriculture would be in the lowlands here where there is no forest. But we do know it's happening in the forest. So I can say it's forest fire.
That was a surprise. So, for example, so if you go deep dive into India data,
Yeah, and we did it like year wise. So we know that it's unusual. Why? Because 2025 you had, I mean, 2025 is blue and this map is all red and red is 2026. So these are the kind of analysis that the deeper analysis that you can get into.
I
But
have
first
a question.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, this is the data, like we can download only data until 7 days, right? If you want like data, archive data.
Yeah. So for the archive data, sir, you have to create like you have to create your own account with NASA, which is for free. You don't have to pay anything or anything like that. You can create your own account and get the archival data, sir.
And one more thing, only this like forest fires is available for free, or other datas like moisture content or
So
everything.
any data on NASA is for free. So the whole point of our course is anything that you see here, whatever we are teaching here, everything is for free. This QGIS software, you don't have to pay anything. The other softwares available as well, like you have Data Wrapper, you have ArcGIS and Tableau and all that, but all of them are subscription based. This one is an open source, and by open source I mean like the source code, the code that was used to build this software is out there in the public domain. You can change it. That's what you mean by open source. So everything is open source here.
So
it's all open source
there's a
data.
question, Pulaha. The people want to have good source for data on floods. And you have been doing that.
Yeah, so floods would be again that's a little high level because you have to do a lot of processing on Google Earth Engine. That's another topic altogether, but you can get it in via Copernicus. Copernicus has flood data. Copernicus Sentinel.
That's European.
That's the European Space Agency's satellite program, Copernicus.
Just to clarify, so at times Pulaha does analysis on flood data as well, and for that he always goes to the European site. That's the Copernicus one. Okay.
So that's a very good question, Manushi. How do you figure out the intensity of fire, as in how big or how strong? That's a very good question. And the answer is in the data itself. I'll show you. If you open this and where you see the data information, what kind of data it is open attribute table. Okay. And there's this thing, I think it's called FRP. FRP. FRP is the intensity of the fire activity, how intense it was. So you can sort out that through the FRP column. And I'll show you in another class how you can sort out columns as well. So chances are we just don't want to display the points. We also want to color it according to FRP intensity. Okay. So column wise, styling and all, I'll show you in another class. But for the timing, to answer your question, this is the one. FRP is the intensity. And this is all present in the documentation. So every time it has, and it doesn't have to do with this one, this just fire activities for that matter. Every time you're trying to download any kind of data, spatial data or any kind of data, it will always have a documentation page which explains what these columns mean and what all you can do with that. So yeah. Any more questions?
Hi, we need some data specific period data for natural activities like rain, snowfall, landslide, and cloudburst. So how can we get?
So I'm not very sure about cloudburst because I have myself not worked on it specifically. But rain, I think you can get it from IMD. IMD has, like, if you're from India, IMD has it. You can also get rain data, rainfall data from precipitation data from, I think, Copernicus. Copernicus is a very good source. NASA is a very good source. But just to answer all your questions, like if you have any specific needs for data sourcing, like where you can get all the data, just shoot me a mail and I'll be happy to, get you in touch with all the data source, like where you can get. That'll be on a one-on-one basis. But if you have
Okay.
anything about the class itself, like how the QGIS works and everything, then please feel free to ask me any questions.
Okay. We'll discuss later.
Can we,
Saroj, yeah. Yeah.
Can we identify wastelands from a city in this, like a map, the location of wastelands, the dumping yards, we can map, get
Yeah,
it?
you can map, ma'am, you can map anything that you want. Okay, you can do anything. But
Alright.
first, the thing is, like, you have to learn the basics of, like, okay, I have this data, this spatial data. So the biggest takeaway, had I been in this, had I been attending this class, my biggest takeaway would be, when I see this file, okay, so this time we saw dot shape, okay, dot shp. So every time, the next time you encounter this shp, okay, I can get it on QGIS, I can display it on QGIS, and then I can get started. And now you have AI, right? So whatever questions you have, you just feed into AI, and AI will help you with QGIS. So that's another way you can go ahead and do it. But first, the basics of it, like, okay, like, how QGIS works, how can I load the data, how can I make sense out of it, like that, one thing at a time. Yeah. Someone wanted me to show the count step, I think. uh, yeah, I think Saroj, was it? Yeah, Saroj, I'll just show you the steps one more, how I got the count. And for that, let me just delete this. And for the count, what you do is you just come to vector, sir, vector analysis tool, count points in a polygon, and the polygon you use, you go for the fixed geometries, because if you do the original shapefile that we downloaded from Natural Earth, that will give you an error, and we fixed that error, so we'll go for fixed geometries. And the points data set would be the fire activities data set. And you click on run, and it does processing, it does the processing. And once it does the processing, what you do is you just go ahead, it creates that count file, and you right click on it, and you just save the file by save feature as, if that answers your question. Yeah, thank you. I think we are good for the class. We'll do the styling part and the exporting part in the next class. So I don't want to, dive deeper, because we have had to deal with a lot of things, a lot of complicated stuff that you're seeing for the first time. So give yourself a pat in the back. You've done a wonderful job here. Hopefully I was able to explain. And if you guys still have any problem, with the, why we are doing what we are doing, please shoot us a mail, and I'll try to answer all your questions. Thank you so much. Yeah.
I think, and the success of the program depends on how people can relate this to their own work.
Yes, most importantly,
Yes.
we might teach you this, we might teach you that, but that context setting has to be done by the participant himself.
Yes. For example,
that is one thing we will never be able to teach you. We can teach you how a tool works, but how to make the tool work
for you,
like as per the customization part, that has to come from you.
For example, we have researchers, we have professors, we have scholars, we have
journalists,
journalists. So everybody has a different requirement.
A different point of view, what they're looking for.
But I hope the message has people have got some
hopefully.
idea about.
So I'll just stop sharing it. Stop sharing my screen. Yeah.
So please feel free to share your queries with us. Don't hesitate. on Moodle platform, where you have the username and password, you can also post your doubts over there. There's a discussion forum. So put your doubts over there, and it's good for all of us. We can see all your doubts over there, and you can also learn jointly from that.
Yeah, I'll definitely learn. A lot of times I have learned from my participants.
So there are two ways to interact. One is one-on-one with Pulaha. Second is you can shoot a mail to us. And third is you can post your doubts on Moodle platform under discussion forum. So all the best, and see you on 27th January. Same time.
One request: is there a possibility that we can start a WhatsApp group so that it will be easy for all of us to communicate to each other?
No, I wouldn't suggest a WhatsApp group, sir, because of privacy issues and all. But you can definitely shoot me a mail.
Not because of that, sir, because we are from different fields. So
I totally get
in
that,
future we can interact with each other.
I've been through the same learning curve. Trust me on this. I've made 1001 errors myself, so I know the learning curve. But just shoot me a mail, and I promise you, like, all your problems and all, we can figure it out.
Not regarding that, sir, because we are from different platforms. The ways we can collaborate each other. That's what I meant. Not regarding this one.
That's a good suggestion, but for the time being, let us just do it over the mail, maybe from next class or something like that.
Lola, so yes, we will have practice exercises.
Yes.
So during the third live session,
we'll be giving you the practice exercise.
And that you'll really enjoy, and that's all about how do you interpret the data that has been put out on climate change and its impacts across the world by IPCC. So
we'll look into that. We'll definitely look into that.
Later on. First,
but that's later. First the basics. First the basics.
I hope all of us have enjoyed.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you.